boys and girls, but this is one history which is often missed even by the parents when they report to us. There is history of oral ulcers in this child, history that the child has been looking very weak and fatigued over the last 1 month. And there was no history of any allergies, drug exposure or animal exposure. And as you can see that when we open the mouth, the child has a hard palate ulcer which would often not be reported by the parents or the child because these are painless ulcers. So as sir rightly suggested, we got the C3, C4 done and the complements were low. However, the ANA that was done was negative. Now on this background where we are strongly suspecting systemic lupus erythematosus, when you get a negative ANA, should we question our diagnosis? That is this really SLE or should we move on and think of other diagnoses that could possibly explain these kind of features? So if Dr. Rizwan sir could also add that can ANA be negative in SLE, and Pradeep sir also you can add to that how can we confirm our diagnosis in such cases?
So if ANA negative doesn't rule out SLE, first thing we should think by which method this ANA has been performed. The gold standard is immunofluorescent method. And another thing with such conditions, you should always keep in mind of prozone phenomena that I want to add.
So Rizwan sir, whenever we come across a child where we are suspecting SLE, we often tell our residents that send ANA. So would you specifically ask for a particular method by which ANA should be sent?
The gold standard method is by immunofluorescence. So that should be the correct method, and you should give specific order to your whoever is sending the test, or otherwise you will just send a screening test and which method it is done, and again it will not give us correct diagnosis. So we should be very clear in prescribing or ordering whatever test we have, because we want to come to a conclusion and we should have a proper diagnosis. So immunofluorescence will be a better diagnosis, a better test.
So the entry criterion for labeling a child with SLE is having a positive ANA, and if you get a negative ANA, the first thing is you go back and check whether it was done by immunofluorescence or by ELISA, because ELISA can have false negative reports. The second thing is prozone phenomena, where there are very high antibody titers and therefore the serum needs to be doubly diluted or diluted at higher dilutions to check for presence of antibodies. And there are certain conditions where immunodeficiency can exist with rheumatological illnesses, and presence of antibody deficiency like an XLA child or common variable immunodeficiency where antibodies itself are not being produced. In those cases, SLE manifestations can be present and the ANA would be negative. So as sir has rightly pointed out, IF or immunofluorescence is the gold standard, and I'm sure we've all seen an IF report where certain things are mentioned on the IF report, that whether it is positive, negative, what is the pattern of immunofluorescence, which gives us a clue to which is the antibodies which are predominantly present in this child.